Welcome to episode 63 of the Champagne Comedy Podcast, where we talk about the best Australian comedy show from the 90s ever made, Frontline, and other D-Generation comedy tidbits. I'm talking real fast because we've got a lot coming up. So my name is Matt, and joining this podcast today is Alison, Daniel, and Kim. Yay! Okay, fair enough, guys. All right. And we've got a special guest reviewer who's returning for another round. Oh, God, she's ready for more. Is actor, author, and illustrator extraordinaire Adele K. Thomas.
Yay. Thank you. Happy to be back.
All right, and I was going to play a joker on Kim because apparently I thought she wasn't going to come to this episode, so I'm going to do this now because it's not going to make sense later on, and I think it's worth it. So just pretend that, Kim, that wasn't actually going to turn up because Kim will be going to a Pseudo Echo concert, and let's cross live to what would have been live to her now.
Oh, Edward, one more drink and I'll be anyone's.
Waiter, a slippery nipple for the lady. Make it a double. There you go, sir. Hope you get the leg over.
Yep, sorry. Got to get an olden days reference in there.
Yay. Yeah, it's actually next weekend.
Next weekend, yeah.
Weekend after. So, but yes.
Cool. All right.
Thanks for that.
Enjoy your time in Funky Town.
And because we're speedrunning this little intro, we have a very special guest on, other than Adele. We have someone who is a friend of the podcast as well. We have, in regards to someone who passed away during the week, that was the passing of the voiceover extraordinaire of Hey Hey It's Saturday, John Blackman. We have Danny Tregoning, who is going by the surname the daughter of Red Simons. Oh, wait, hold on, wait. I've got a better one for that. Oh, I've got so much in this system here and so many punchlines that I have no idea what the hell I'm doing sometimes. And I've had a coffee. So here's your proper intro, Danny.
I feel so at home right now. So at home.
That is, the Red Faces jingle.
Good time.
Yeah, okay.
Good thing you pressed that and not the pluck a duck one.
No, someone will demand royalties for that one.
Yes.
Yeah. Reason why we are referring to John Blackman, because he was a running joke on The Late Show, as well as with the D-Gen team appearing on Hey Hey and Red Faces. Sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I've got to say it's been a really rough couple of days. But honestly, seeing the outpouring of just love, but also grief that a lot of people are feeling, especially within like the wider Australian community, has just been really quite breathtaking. And, I feel for Dad because, a 51-year friendship with someone is always, quite a milestone. But to have that within the Australian TV industry is quite remarkable. And, they were best friends, they were brothers, they were, partners in crime.
They were probably cooped up in the same booth most of the time as well, weren't they?
Jon's booth was pretty small and Dad's area across the control room was even smaller. But there were a lot of times that even though they weren't in the same room, it's like they shared a brain. And I think that's something that is so rare with any friendship. But the fact that, as Dad said on the Today Show the other day, is, their whole plan together was to derail Daryl as much as they could every week. And sitting there, especially as a kid, because, being there on school holidays and sort of, sitting there as long as I didn't touch the carts, because God forbid if you touch those, I could just almost like feel this weird shared brain that they had, and John would say something and then Dad would like pick up like the most amazing sound effect from almost out of nowhere. And I was just like, this timing is just something that I don't think we're ever going to have again. And, you know, it was just such a special time. But also, like, John was such a really humble and kind guy. Like, the last time I saw him was a few years ago now. And, like, I sort of did the whole, how are you? And he was like, no, how are you? And that's just kind of the guy he was. Like, you know, he wanted to know what was going on with everyone else. And he was just such a sweetheart. And I'm glad now, looking back, that time I saw him, because he was like, oh, what have you been up to? And I said, oh, you know, I've been doing like this podcast about Eurovision, and, you know, I'm doing bits and pieces on YouTube now. And he's just like, oh, no, that's really great. You know, good on you. And I was like, well, I think the whole reason why I kind of gravitated to behind the mic is because of you. And he was like super flattered by that. And I was just like, yeah, but, you know, you've narrated my brain for like my whole life. Like, my internal monologue is, you know, live from the studios of, you know, and it's such a loss. But also I think it's a good time for us to just kind of sit back and go, you know what? He was actually pretty great.
He was. And he was, while he made everyone the butt of his jokes, he was also made the butt of some other particular jokes. But in regards to The Late Show, everyone knows the running joke with John Blackman from Telecom Mobile Net. And here's just a little sample of some of the jokes.
And President Bill Clinton receives an unexpected wrong number.
Hello, Philip. It's John Blackman here from Telecom Mobile.
To sport now. And the third cricket test wound up this week in a draw. There was one sad note when Aussie paceman Merv Hughes injured his groin, but a much happier one when newcomer Graham Thorpe injured his. Meanwhile, skipper Graham Gooch received a surprise wrong number.
Hello, Philip. It's John Blackman here from Telecom Mobile.
And the Khmer Rouge receive an unexpected call.
It's John Blackman from Telecom Mobile Net here. Who's that?
We're going to do one of those jokes every week for the rest of the series.
I've got a new prank.
A new prank. This better be good.
Prank, and I've got this will make you laugh. It makes them laugh in the center. Here we go.
Hello.
Hello, it's John Hewson here from Telecom Mobile. Who's that?
It's John Blackman here, Doc. This is my gig, all right? So rack off.
And yeah, there's a montage on the champagnecomedy.com YouTube account right now. So if you want to have a look at it, it's a big compilation. So 5 minutes of laughter.
Yeah, like just even thinking back like to when he even did like the voiceover for Dad's hold music at work. Like, you know, you'd be put on hold and then all of a sudden it's, hi, this is John Blackman and I'm going to talk to you about all the amazing things that you can buy, you know, or hire from Murray Trelawney and Associates. And that's how it was. And even, you know, he had a side gig that, oh, do you need me to be your voicemail? I'll be your voicemail for a small fee. You know, all of this really just silly stuff that he got up to. And, you know, you just think, I don't know, it's I don't think it's sunk in for a lot of us, but I think of all these really, really silly things that happened, you know, knowing this guy, and yeah, just that example alone it just brings back so many great memories.
It's not just TV that John was part of. He also had a lot of different radio duties. He did breakfast radio for 3AW in the 80s, Triple M Adelaide in the early 2000s, and then later on the Magic stations in Melbourne and Brisbane.
I feel like, you know, in his sort of heart Blackman was kind of a radio guy, because a lot of the humor that he's doing on Hey Hey is radio, it's because the idea of like your dad, whipping out a cart with a funny sound on it, that is just so radio as a type of humor.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole thing, it's kind of, it's really quite unique, I think, in television. I can't think of any other TV show around the world that I've ever encountered, and I've encountered quite a lot, that has done that kind of comedy, and it is pure radio. It actually kind of, it reminds me of like Kenny Everett, or that kind of stuff. It's that sort of golden days of radio, sort of the technology combines to allow them to do this really quick fire comedy stuff. So.
Yeah, it's really suited to that quick-wittedness that John had.
Yeah, and he and your dad were incredibly quick, and yeah, you're right. They were so well coordinated as well. It was that, and there's so much going on Hey Hey, like the guy doing the cartoons. It was the whole show was basically, as you say, designed to completely derail Summers, and much better for it, because Summers on his own is kind of boring.
One of the best things that I think I appreciate a lot about looking back at Hey Hey is that you had your cast, but a lot of your crew were cast as well.
Yeah.
And I think that worked out well for
Archie.
John, because, he was a radio guy, but he was doing radio on television.
Yeah.
I liked the end credits. He would always be like, "Thank you, Daryl. Thank you." Like go through and thank everyone. And then he would get right to the end, and then he would do the quick, "Daryl Summers is dressed by," blah, 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 and like rattle that off.
Yeah,
and
Daryl Summers is dressed by his mother. Yeah, that was all.
But there was one I was watching the other day, and at the end he goes, "And I'll just pause here for the radio, the TV station to do like the announcement of what was coming up next," and there was nothing, and he goes, "Okay then, nothing to say," and then he got carried. He was like, so.
But it was quick. So great, because a lot of people say to me, "Do you have any like memorabilia of the show or anything?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I've got a couple of like running sheets," and they're like, "Oh great, what's on them?" And I'm like, "Not a lot."
Yeah,
and
it's all improv.
True. Like they just did stuff, but always so weird just watching Dad and John, and then at the end of taping they'd be like, "Hey, that was good." It was just two little naughty boys.
Yeah.
Just so in sync, and like they really were best friends and brothers, and I think that's why like we've really felt the loss, because John's always been there, but like not just for me, but for so many people of different generations and stuff too in Australia. So yeah, it's I don't know how we move on from here, but maybe we just have to. So.
Yeah, it's a TV culture and a radio culture that doesn't exist anymore, and that's sad actually, because it, the whole idea of disrailing, a live, well, it wasn't really live, but it was shot as live sort of program is actually something you really rarely see on television now. It's all pre-recorded or very, very rehearsed. So I loved the anarchy of Hey Hey.
And they fit a lot in as well. They fit a lot into the show.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I just think about stuff now, like it was such a fantastic platform for artists and singers and all of that stuff. Just thinking back of Pseudo Echo, they were on a few times, and
the DJ were on there
they
too.
had a platform to do that too, but. Even though, John was a real rat bag, he really did love everybody that was on that show. And, that was just the way he showed love. It was odd, but, that was the way he was kind of a guy that if he wasn't really into you, you'd know. But if he was, he would be, hanging it on you so hard, because that's the way he loved. So, yeah.
I think that I'll just have to say, like I was a little kid when it was on, and I loved Dickie Nee, so that was mine. And I was looking back at like who John got to speak to through Dickie Nee, and he like got to. It was like Wesley Snipes, it was Jean-Claude Van Damme, Will Smith. He's just like all these like big Hollywood superstars that come over for an interview, and he just gets to pop up and just like rip into them, and they're just like, whoa, okay. And then they talk, or like Jean-Claude Van Damme like high kicks him across the table with the puppeteers underneath just doing his thing. But I just thought, yeah, it was just entertaining, and it made it so funny. And
I think John's death in a way kind of shuts the door on that era for a lot of people, and I think that's why maybe a lot of people are really feeling that nostalgia and that longing for a time that's just not going to be around again, and that's probably for a good reason. But yeah, I think that's why a lot of people have really, panged for it, because some people are like, oh, I'm not really a fan of Daryl, but a lot of people were really, oh no, but that John Blackman, he was pretty funny. And I'm like, yeah, he was pretty funny. So
yeah, it was good times.
Yes, indeed. So thank you very much for sharing some of the backstory with that, and condolences.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Dan.
You're more than welcome to hang around, because there is some more, when we get to our program guide, there is some Red Faces stuff to talk about. So feel free to observe, be an observer if you want, or feel free to contribute, either way.
I might just also mention, just before we move on, that 3AW's Remember When program, it'll probably have already gone out by the time this podcast comes out, but they're planning to do a tribute to John Blackman, and that should be available on their podcast. If you search 3AW Weekend Nights, you can have a listen to their tribute.
Yeah, I saw a video of Simon promoting that on Twitter yesterday. So I'm like, well, that's dated the podcast. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, I'm sure it's going to be a great show.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Speaking of radio, some other new stuff with Mick Malloy reciting the Underpants story, the Bart Simpson Underderps, on Mick and MG in the morning.
And he gets it wrong. He gets the story wrong.
Yeah. Have you got a clip of this?
So honestly, this is like hardcore
pedantry
for all of us here, and it's going to.
It's a lovely appearance, but he's an unreliable narrator.
See, we've got everything on the record, and we're combing through everything meticulously to correct everything.
I apologise. This is going to annoy the shit out of everyone here. So here we go.
What have you been caught doing in your undies, Mick?
Oh no, I ran onto the set of the Bert Newton show in my underpants. So
Why?
Yeah, no, well, because we were trying to film something for the Late Show back in the day, and I went down to film. It was like a doorbuster sale. I love those doorbuster sales where people sometimes like lose a finger in their fight for the white goods.
That was only
I thought, there'll be great footage down here. And of course, when we were doing the Late Show, it was live TV, and we needed 90 minutes a week. So I've gone down there, and there was no crowd, there was no stampede. I can't come back empty-handed. So then I noticed that Bert Newton was doing a live outside broadcast from like the Manchester of the shopping centre, and so I just all remember is going, boys, roll the cameras. And I was standing backstage and just taking all my clothes. I remember speaking to Dermot Brereton, who was the next guest.
No way.
And he's on the guest, and I'm just talking to him, and I'm just slowly taking my clothes off. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Mate," don't ask any questions. I said, "I'm about to go out there and bounce up and down on Bert Newton's couch in my underpants." He goes, "Okay, mate, will you do that?" Anyway, Bert Newton was on the set with Denise Drysdale. Middle of some advertorial, and I've just jumped out in, believe it or not, guess what I was wearing?
What?
Bart Simpson underpants.
And go back to Sydney and report on same.
Is that the audio Triple M played?
And those underpants, I believe, are now behind glass in some kind of museum.
All right, who wants to do the corrections?
I think we've done it already. We've just screamed in pain at all of them. But
He's just confused the appearances, and I don't want to go into it in more detail because we've already been tortured enough.
He means Ernie Sigley, not Bert Newton.
Ernie and Denise.
Bert Newton was like a later part of the running gag
that he was jumping up and down in his
part of
undies.
the Tony Barduccio dances. That's how they got through the Channel 10 security.
But yeah, I think from memory, the appearance on Good Morning Australia was a little bit more coordinated than the Ernie and Denise underpants outing.
Yeah, because that was at an OB at Grace Brothers. So,
but
you can listen to the Champagne Comedy Podcast episodes
to get the real story.
Yes.
Well, wouldn't it be Myers? It was Myers, wasn't it? Because there's no Grace Brothers is Sydney. Myers is Melbourne.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Melbourne Myers. Yeah.
There we go.
Go and give yourself a pedigree.
Grace Brothers was in New South Wales.
New South Welshman here, so
me too.
Yeah.
I still get confused with Maya.
Grace Brothers is Sydney, and are you being served? But Myers is everywhere else. I don't know. Maybe Queensland's got it. I don't know. No idea.
Myers was in Queensland as well.
Myers, yeah.
Hence the reason Myer Centre in Queen Street Mall, the one with the
R.I.P.
Yes.
R.I.P. Myer Centre. Myers no longer there.
Yeah, with the former the roller coaster that was on the roof.
Tops.
Good times. Good times. You would know that if you lived in Brisbane / Gold Coast area. All right. Well,
even Adelaide had a Myer Centre. Long, the sort of sideshow attractions long shuttered, but.
But did you?
Yes.
But did you have a roller coaster? Did you have a roller coaster in the ceiling?
No.
Yes, the top 1 or 2 levels was a roller coaster and an arcade kind of place called Dazzleland.
Yeah. It wasn't so dazzling, let's put it that way.
But yeah, that part closed down long ago, but the Adelaide Myer Centre is still standing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. Well, let's move on to more news, and with Philip Adams, the ABC Radio National talent retiring, good friend of the Working Dog team. And during his rollout of retirement, they've been playing highlights and just repeats of interviews from his archives. And one of them was with Rob Sitch from 2014.
Back in 2014, I caught up with the great Rob Sitch, our homegrown comedic talent, writer, producer and director, the genius behind so many classic comedies.
This is a great story.
It was here in this small room.
Hi, I'm Mike Moore. Welcome to Late Night Frontline Live.
And you can listen to the other 54 minutes of that chat on the ABC. We've tweeted it out, and it's. I couldn't pick a good part.
It's really worth listening. There's some really interesting stuff in there. So
I'll have to check it out then.
Turn this podcast off and turn that on.
Yeah. You're more than welcome to.
Actually, listen to the rest of us first. But
I was going to say we can wait.
Yeah, we're still here when you're done.
And welcome back.
There's no John Blackman kind of pause there. The end credits.
We don't quite have Blackman's timing.
No, we don't. But we do have Murray Tregonning timing.
The Bears.
Yeah.
Excuse you.
Yeah. Sorry. I've had a coffee, so I'm quite energetic right now.
Sounds like you've had a gutful.
Oh, hey, guess what it's time for?
It's all in this week's TV Week, packed with great family entertainment.
Oh, Jesus! Daniel Genie's program guide. Sorry,
never fails to
I keep
amuse.
forgetting that some people haven't heard that before, and yeah.
Yeah, basically this is going through the Ages Green Guide in Melbourne and the Sydney Morning Herald Guide in Sydney. And it turns out that there's a letter in the Green Guide, and it's headed "Degen Fan Angry."
Oh, bum, bum, bum.
Although when you hear this letter, I think it's over the most tiniest thing in the Green Guide. But anyhow, I'll let you be the judge. Here's how the letter goes. As a fan of the D Generation, I am well aware of its history of run-ins with Ross Warneke. Therefore, I don't expect my view to be an unbiased one, but I do expect to be taken seriously. Mr. Warneke's comments in the ratings report, Green Guide 7th of September, truly astounded me. In mentioning the top rating shows for the week, we were fed the inevitable details of how 60 Minutes, the movie of the week, and the final of Absolutely Fabulous won their slots. However, his paragraph that started with this week's winners ended with, quote, Frontline came third to 10's Healthy, Wealthy and Wise and a repeat of Lois and Clark, unquote. Surely Mr. Warneke could not expect such a snide dig at the D Generation and Frontline to go unnoticed. I'm sure Mr. Warneke is giggling like an immature schoolboy on the inside, certain that someone got the joke with him, and oh joy if the D Generation itself was aware of it. I am safe in the knowledge that the D Generation create quality television with every episode of Frontline, and comments such as those by Mr. Warneke serve only to reinforce this belief. Mark Farrell, Ivanhoe. All of those words over one sentence in the ratings report, which I never read the ratings report in the Green Guide because I don't know what the numbers mean in terms of percentage of viewing or anything like that.
I never needed the ratings report because I used to have them emailed to me by John Blackman. Who's going to do that now?
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah. He did send out regular daily newsletter updates of what's happening in the news. He was just a really cool filter for that.
So this might be a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I feel that this is a bit of an overreaction.
Really?
Yeah, they're kind of inadvertently causing the Streisand effect by, bringing more attention to Warneke's kind of little remark there.
Yeah.
And, we wouldn't have it would have just passed most people by.
But also, is it that surprising that Frontline was third in the ratings? Because in that era, I would have expected an ABC program to be third or fourth, even if it was Frontline.
Still number 4.
So it's actually just,
it's like,
normal.
especially considering, you had Healthy, Wealthy and Wise and Lois and Clark, which both had healthy followings. Now, that's not the only letter that's in the Green Guide. This one, it's actually part of Ross Warneke's Rewind column. Yeah, it's basically, it's a letter, it's unrelated to the one that was written by Mark Farrell. It's got a similar sort of a theme. He starts it by saying, Dear Ed, I am beginning to sympathise with Doug Ayton. Now, just to explain that reference, Doug was an announcer on the ABC station 3LO, now known as ABC Radio Melbourne, and there were a lot of letters in the Green Guide about him. So much so that it was thought that maybe it might have been part of an orchestrated campaign. Warneke continues, the constant stream of letters to you inferring bias on my part against the producers and the cast of Frontline, and before that The Late Show, could be mistaken if I were paranoid for an orchestrated campaign. Please allow me to set the record straight. Yes, I was critical of The Late Show when it began on the ABC on Saturday nights a few years ago. But it soon won me over, and I selected the show as a viewing highlight almost every week in my Saturday Extra Critical TV Guide for the remaining 18 months it was on air. Then came Frontline. When it began, I was alone among critics in saying it was not as funny as was being claimed. It was cleverly irreverent, and, as I acknowledged in the end-of-year edition of Green Guide, it was one of the few fresh and innovative concepts to hit our screens in 1994. But its humour was spasmodic and often immature. Interestingly, by year's end, several other critics had come around to my view, that the first series of Frontline was overrated. This year's series, however, generally is better, and on several occasions, both here and in my daily spot on 3AW, I have said so. Not that the Frontline team has acknowledged that. Mike Moore has become more a figure of contempt than a figure of fun, which I think is a mistake. But overall, the themes are more topical, the messages are more hard-hitting, the good jokes are funnier, and the lame jokes are fewer. And there the defence rests. Ross Warneke, Mount Martha.
Yeah, I mean, the DGen were very good at talking about Ross Warneke to their fans and sort of turning him into a kind of figure of hate. You know, he's our enemy, you know, and I feel like, you know, the guy who wrote in to complain about Warneke is, you know, absolutely sort of
one sentence.
Yeah, based on one sentence. Having said that, you know, he was really pretty anti. And the problem is if you start anti, it's quite hard to roll back from that, even if you do roll back from that, because no one's listening to you, you know. All right, going on to the program guide proper, we'll start with the ABC. So Frontline at 8 o'clock, then Four Corners at 8:30, Media Watch at 9:15. And at 9:30, another repeat of Absolutely Fabulous. This is Season 2, Episode 2, titled Death, originally aired in the UK in February 1994. A grief-stricken Saffron is horrified at her mother Adina's apathy after Adina's father dies. And Eddie's mother, played by June Whitfield, tries to distract Saffy with, of all things, magazine quizzes.
I'm sorry, Gran. You're coping so well, I just feel so sad.
It's all right, dear. I've had longer to get used to the idea of Grandad dying. We were married for nearly 40 years, you know.
It's just there's so much to think about, to arrange.
It's all in good time. Now, it's multiple choice questions. Are you ready? How many years was Margaret Thatcher Prime Minister? A, 900 years. B, 3,000 years. C, 11 years. Oh, it's a trick question.
I'm sure it just felt like 900 years.
That's the vibe I get from people who grew up under Thatcher, yeah.
All right, on Channel 7 at 7:30, we've got Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. Another repeat, it's Season 1, Episode 19, titled Vatman, originally aired in the US in March 1994. In the episode, Clark Kent is shocked to see Superman save a crippled jet in Paris live on TV. How can this be? Clark wonders if he has a twin brother, but the reason for the second Superman is far simpler. Slight spoiler alert. The new Superman is a clone that Lex Luthor created to kill the original Superman. So I haven't seen the episode, but I'm guessing that there's probably a lot of split screen and body double action. So anybody who's wanting their fantasy of Double Dean Kane, you know, fill your boots.
In 95 years?
Yes.
In 2000?
No. Not so much.
Oh, what does he look like now?
Has he not aged well? Is this what you're telling me?
No, there's a lot of
there's
a lot of things about him that haven't aged well.
Okay.
He's gone full Kevin Sorbo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we need to explain what happened with Kevin Sorbo?
The 90s TV heroes have gone south.
Then after that, at 8:30, there's the 1995 Brownlow medal count. At least in Melbourne, Sydney had to wait until 11:30 p.m. To find out who won the Brownlow.
Oh, shocker.
Probably didn't even air in Queensland.
and
AFL?
And because
Well, actually, the joke's on Sydney because Paul Kelly from the Sydney Swans won the Brownlow Medal, polling 21 votes. Hello, Dan. It's Paul here. I hope you're here, keeping well. It's the 25th of September, and now they're ringing the last bells. Paul Kelly reference.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Damn it.
Yeah, well, it would have been, the only way the other states could have found out was if they hopped on their dial-up internet and maybe sent through a message on ICQ. Quick, tell me what's happening in the other state.
Yeah, what's the count?
My apologies. It wouldn't have been ICQ because ICQ was invented in 96, so...
Yeah. Would just
MIRC,
be an email.
there we
Just
go.
a normal email. Or IRC. Yeah.
Oh, good old Merc.
Merc.
Tell me who got 3 votes in round 18.
Me slaps Daniel with a trout.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, thank you.
This year's Brownlow was quite notable because the Victorian state government legalised betting on the Brownlow for the first time. Yeah, considering, well, I suppose as long as you're not an umpire or anybody calculating the votes, you may be all right. But it concerns some due to the high potential for corruption. All right, going on to SBS now. We've got the 4th out of 5 episodes of the German documentary series That Was Our War.
Yeah, Alison, your request.
I'm not entirely convinced this was the theme to this documentary, but hey, I'm enjoying the joke.
I'm like,
no.
It sounds like it's a German version of Dad's Army.
Well, if you wait a few seconds, you might hear it. For Hitler and Germany.
That's from the movie The Producers from 1967. Got made into a musical and then a movie of the musical.
Which also Daryl Summers did a stage show of The Producers down in Canberra at one stage.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And what role did he play? It wasn't Hitler, I'm assuming.
No.
Or was it? I'm in no way implying that Daryl Summers is like Hitler. I just want to point that out. Just
and
for legals.
anything that's I was going to say disclaimer. All of Alison's comments are of Alison only, and not reflecting.
They're not. It's not my personal view. I'm not saying he's Hitler.
No. So that's not the theme. No, look, I'm talking about That Was Our War.
Well, hi there, people. You know me. I used to run a little joint called Germany. I was #1, the people's choice. And everybody
Yeah, I know. Mel Brooks going for a bit of a double dip there. It was in aid of his movie called To Be or Not to Be. And the song's called To Be or Not to Be, brackets, The Hitler Rap. Surprisingly enough, it peaked at number 3 on the charts in Australia, number 12 in the UK, number 2 in Sweden, and number 1 in Norway.
I don't remember that rap being in the film because the film is set in the 40s, right?
Yeah.
But
that's right, but he still put it out anyway.
Well, why not?
What would have been more impressive if that got in the charts at number 9? Oh, come on!
And now also just on that song, there is this footage on YouTube of Broadmeadows High School performing to that Hitler rap for the 1984 Eon FM Rock and Roll of Stedford.
Well,
okay. Again, it's a product of its time.
I would say so. Like, sort of, like there is a breakdancing Hitler, and the guy playing Hitler has the toothbrush moustache and what I can only describe as a mullety afro, kind of two minute noodles job.
I'm going to guess that Broadmeadows is not a very Jewish area. Bloody hell!
Look! In Broadmeadows' highest defence, it does end with an appearance from the Grim Reaper putting in pretty much a very Toxie award-worthy performance.
Wow.
There's also a fair bit of marching and breakdancing involved as well. It's just
Marching
weird.
and breakdancing.
They're like oil and water.
If you do a search on YouTube for 1984 Rock and Roller Stedford, you should find it. And well, I don't know if I want to pass the link on to you guys.
It feels like a hate crime just talking about it.
I know. I feel dirty.
Yeah.
Oh, look! Ever since I've been searching for these World War II themed ditties, I've been getting a lot of recommended videos for something called the National Socialist Network.
Oh,
Yeah, you probably don't want to get involved in that, Daniel. I'm guessing.
Well, I'm not into weightlifting anyway, so
yeah.
Yeah, what are the YouTube ads you're now getting?
I think you're on someone's radar, surely.
If you do a search for this Rock and Roller Stedford thing, do it in incognito mode, trust me.
Yeah.
I'm guessing maybe a lot of Andrew Tate-related content, or...
You need a VPN, Daniel.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. All right, let's move on quickly to Channel 9 now. And we've got an interesting sort of thing here. We've got a Hey Hey It's Saturday special. In fact, we've technically got two Hey Hey It's Saturday specials because there were different ones for Sydney and Melbourne. Now, I couldn't find much about what was contained in these Hey Hey specials. I did. So I put in the call to the guy that's got the subscription to the Hey Hey streaming service.
Subscription. Yeah.
I like how you say the guy. That there's only one guy.
We might start with the one that aired in Sydney, which was the best/worst of Red Faces 3. Matt, talk us through. Was there anything really interesting in it?
It was the one that had Francis Greenslade in it, as well as Andrew Marsh. So, which obviously Francis ended up being Sean McAuliffe's comedy partner down the track, and also Andrew Marsh, who ended up writing for Hey Hey, as he did that Hey Georgie Girl performance that turned into a rap, and Francis did that whole, with the worms, and Heckler's line with the awkward jokes. But the best one was the one at the very end, which for years I had no idea what it was until I had to mature to become immature to guess this bit, and that is...
The drummer came in at the dawn's early light. He said all me footwear was stolen last night. She said, my good drummer, you're down on your luck. He said, yes, I was hoping you'd give me a fine pair of socks. She's got the biggest balls of wool to knit. Sarah Perry, Sarah Perry. So come the Sarah Perry, Sarah Perry. Seamstress extraordinaire, slop clothing down to there. She's got the biggest clientele.
Now that cuckoo noise, he's saying country clientele. But think about it when you break it down in the beat, syllables. So I don't blame him for censoring it. But that was the 4 Cups with that Sarah Perry song, which were actually performers from Old Sydney Town. So there's something.
The good old Sydney Town.
Yeah.
Bring that back in Australia's Wonderland, not have bloody Melbourne have Disneyland.
Exactly, no Disneyland, Old Sydney Town or Wonderland.
Yeah, Old Sydney Town, El Caballo Blanco in Australia's Wonderland. It's the trio.
I always wanted to go to Old
parks.
Sydney Town, but by the time I finally got to Sydney, Old Sydney Town just didn't exist, and I was sad.
I went there a couple of times as a kid, and I've actually got some silent 8mm footage that my grandparents filmed.
Aww.
It's about 10 seconds long with the cannon firing and my granddad trying to hold the camera, and it's on its angle. So,
at least his finger's not in front of it.
Because it's so huge and heavy, it's like, yeah. No one's gonna digitize this in the future, are they? Yeah.
Classic.
Robin Oliver in the Sydney Morning Herald Guide was not so kind towards the best/worst of Red Faces 3. Third best and third worst of what can, but only occasionally, be an entertaining segment of the Daryl Summers Show. If they keep this up, the two categories will blend in the middle so that TBWORF 6 will just be one big puddle of curdled TV blancmange.
Oh.
I feel like I want to give him a Warnicky there, but...
Or a gong, gong.
Warnicky.
Yes. We need a new one. Oliver.
I do have an Oliver, but we haven't we haven't had a Robin Oliver for a long time.
Have we played it before?
I believe we have. I've got to really go into my archives there. But we also had a Fidgeon as well.
Oh, Fidgeon, I remember. Yes.
Yeah. Fidgeon.
I think I might have made an Oliver, but probably never used it.
So that was what was happening in Sydney. Now, Melbourne got a different Hey Hey special called Hey Hey, It's the Comedians. Who was in that one, Matt?
Amazing Jonathan Hobson, Victor Borg, Halen Pace, Wilden Haynes, Marty Putz, He's Nuts, Elliot Goblet, David Strassman, Kelly Rogers, Mark Price, Rita Rudner, and a whole bunch of others. And I've chosen one bit from it, and that is good old Victor Borg.
In inflationary language.
Inflationary language.
Because everything is getting more and more expensive, prices are rising, everything is going up. And we have some words in the language that contain numbers.
Yes.
Like wonderful, before, create, tenderly, lieutenant. If you add one to these numbers, we have, instead of wonderful, we have tudorful. Before will be B5, create, cre9. Tenderly will be 11derly. A lieutenant will be a lieutenant. And a sentence like, I ate a tenderloin with my fork, will be a 9 and 11 tenderloin with my 5.
I thought that was relevant because of inflation talk.
Yeah.
But look at that. Hey, hey, still relevant there.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Like, you know, if you want to see these things in full, you know, there's always the, what is it, $6.99, $7.99 a month?
Wait, hold
Something
on.
like that.
Daddy, what? Oh, never mind. Tell us more about it.
where do we get it?
Forgotten that I'd actually done the subscription, because I go through phases of, you know, someone will message me and say, oh, you're there's a mention of you on this episode in this season. And I go, oh, okay, and then I go find that. And then, of course, you know, I got like this really strange PayPal thing. And I was like, what the hell is that? Summers Corporation. I was like, oh.
And they also post a lot of stuff on their YouTube channel as well, including there was a community post there by Daryl talking about the passing of John Blackman, and he said that there'll be some stuff going up there over the next week or two.
That'd be brilliant.
Adele,
I need all of it.
Yeah, what was your connection with Hey Hey there?
I tried to find it in those videos you sent me, but
You mean the subscription that I gave you from heyhey.tv?
That's the one. So I went on to my Hey Hey It's Saturday subscription and I checked out some videos.
That you'd paid for. Yep.
That I paid for. No, when I was 12 in 1993, Jurassic Park was on its way to being released in September, either 2nd or 3rd in Australia. And the Hey Hey It's Saturday was, they ran a competition where my mind's fuzzy, my memory's fuzzy about this, but I can't remember whether, I'm pretty sure it was like an on-air competition, but it might have also been in a magazine like the coupon or entry form that you showed me, Matt. But it asked for you to name 3 periods of that dinosaurs appeared in, and it was it Cretaceous, Jurassic, and Jurassic? Like every child was a dinosaur nerd back then. And you could win a double pass to go to the Jurassic Park premiere in your major city. So being on the Gold Coast, it was Brisbane at the Myer Centre Cinema, or the cinema around the corner. And on that particular Saturday night that it was announced on, the winner was announced on Hey Hey It's Saturday, I was out with my parents at dinner, and I came back the next morning, and the kids at school was telling me that my name was said on Saturday, and I was saying, and I never saw it, but I saw the commercial, the highlights of the previous show running for the that for the next Hey Hey It's Saturday, and they showed the previous things that happened in the show. And I, from my memory, which I've also remembered, was reaching into a barrel shaped like it was like a dinosaur barrel, and that was apparently, I guess, what I was being pulled out of or something, like my name or my entry. And so I won, a double pass to see Jurassic Park, and I went up with my mum and had a great time and fell in love with Jeff Goldblum from the age of 12.
It's easy to do.
Yeah. So that was great.
Oh, if only you got pulled out of the Chook Lotto barrel.
Oh,
I know. Look, I would have, if you'd said you could either have that or go at the pluck a duck, like grabbing a pluck a duck, I might have also taken that opportunity.
Imagine that if they did that instead of the barrel, like that one year where they pulled out the numbers of whatever out of Plucker's ass.
Yes.
It's like, and it's Adele.
I love all the different versions that they would do of Pluck a Duck. You'd ride the bike and the thing is like spinning around insane.
Yeah. Also, like Chook Lotto,
just like,
do you have a Chook Lotto where they'd actually have frozen chickens in a barrel?
Yeah. They would come home with Dad and I'd have chicken sandwiches every day.
You're like pulling out a number out of your chicken sandwich.
And don't forget, just to segue it into DGen wise, Jane Kennedy was one time a Pluck a Duck barrel girl, or what do you call it?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Filling when in between. It was like when Denise Drysdale had left, and there was no Jackie McDonald either, and so they were rotating guests, and Jane Kennedy was on as a fill-in. So
so they're like, sorry, you're not working on Salem the Century this week, but we do have a slot on Hey Hey It's Saturday.
Yeah. Sorry, Adele, you did end up watching that episode after all through the hey.tv
I tried to find it. Like, I was watching through the end credits where they were doing the highlights, and I was going through the episodes, but I couldn't find it. So
I got a gut feeling that it might have been, say, a individual, like during an ad break type thing, which they've probably come back during an ad break to do it, and that's why it's not on the master tape.
Yeah.
I've skimmed through it, but I couldn't find it directly, so that's why.
Otherwise, I have created one amazing fantasy in my mind.
Well, I think
did you actually see Jurassic Park in the cinema?
Yeah, you may be a more reliable narrator than Mick Malloy and his underpants memories.
Not hard.
Yeah, I wanted to get to Total Recall, and it was Cheese Timber.
All right. Sorry, Daniel.
That's okay. Okay, so we'll finish things up with Channel 10 and Healthy, Wealthy and Wise. This week, you can learn how to make furniture polish, freeze fruit, and surf the internet. Hopefully separately, not all at once.
Surfing the internet. It's a surfing on the information superhighway.
Yeah.
The World Wide Web.
Yeah, surf the internet so you can pass on the Brownlow scores, medal points to the other states.
on Merck.
Sign up to John Blackman's email address.
Aussiemail.com.au. And what was that?
Yeah,
wiggly
John Blackman
line
at
again?
Aussiemail.
Tilda, or geocities.com/
Yeah. And you can do it all on your 28K modem.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, yeah. I had a 14.4K at that point.
Also this week...
so did I. I had a 14.4. And Netcom, 14.4.
Also in this episode, champion driver Dick Johnson meets up with Peter Werrett. Ian prepares the perfect brunch, while Ross explores the Tasmanian Techno Park.
Technology Park? Not Doof Doof Techno?
Okay, so I thought this might have been the Mona of its day, but what it actually is much more mundane. According to the Tasmanian government website, the Tasmanian Techno Park in Hobart develops, supports and markets viable, sustainable and internationally competitive technology and innovation-based industry in Tasmania. Its purpose is to encourage growth in this industry sector by fostering a culture of innovation and helping tenants to commercialise innovative products, processes and services.
What a boring weekend.
Just a technology park.
I was hoping
the
it
end.
was techno the genre, but
Yeah, I was going to get my glow sticks out. And have a good...
This is Tasmania we're talking about.
Well, they should have gotten Tonya Todman to do it because it actually would be a techno party. Imagine
She would have just been jumping up and down, yeah.
Imagine her doing a rave. Oh. Rocking out the Prodigy.
Make your own drugs. Would have been great.
Make your own drugs with Huey.
Yeah.
Make your own drugs with your homemade furniture polish and your frozen fruit.
Huey.
I reckon I could get high on
in the
that.
kitchen.
Huey's doing like crystal meth cooking in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's from the sort of Up Late series of Healthy, Wealthy and Wise. I think.
Healthy, not so wealthy.
And that's the program guide.
Thank you, Daniel. Oh, goodness.
Wow.
Danny, would you like to do the intro? Because you haven't done this before.
Oh my God, what do I have to do?
I'll send you the
Very
script.
complicated.
You have to do your best Mike Moore or John Blackman impression, yeah.
Yeah, hold on. Just give me a second.
Something.
I will. So, Adele, you can have the night off. Because it's usually our guest or whoever does it, but because this is a special occasion, let's play the intro for it. So I'll count you in.
Yeah.
Okay, Danny? So just start warming up your tonsils, and then after that you just do your best Mike Moore / John Blackman impression now, I guess.
No pressure or nothing.
Yeah, no pressure at all. Okay. Okay, hold on. 4, 3, 2, cue in.
Hello, I'm Danny Tregonning, and this is Frontline Season 2, Episode 10, Changing the Face of Current Affairs, broadcast Monday, September 25, 1995.
Oh, well done. And she did it in one take as well.
Yes.
With my dyscalculia and all.
Yay. All right, well, in this case, we'll bid you adieu, Danny, and we'll have you on a future episode. I just want to say thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to see some nice faces. It's been a shithouse week. Good night, all. Enjoy the rest of your ep.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, as Danny said, it is changing the face of current affairs. The synopsis being, in an effort to combat falling ratings, a consultant is called in, but his changes do not quite work out as planned. And this is a fun episode, and I knew that you would like this, Adele, because it has a lot to do with color coordination and visual displays, especially backgrounds, and also a really fantastic talent, because it seems like that they, with this episode, they got the big guest star, Harry Shearer, and they've just thrown all the money or their budget pretty much into this whole thing.
Into this episode.
So,
yeah, it's fantastic.
Harry did make an appearance on Martin Malloy that day when the episode went to air.
Harry Shearer! Harry, thanks for coming in today.
It is my pleasure, guys. I was thinking seriously if I could say that with any shred of sincerity, and I can't.
Oh, well, there's not much sincerity on this program to date, so thanks for injecting a note into the show.
Okay, so that'll be the last bit.
What are you doing here? How did you get hooked up with Frontline? Give us the story.
Rob had sent me a couple of episodes and said they wanted me to do something on the show, and I was acting in a play in New York, and he had studying something.
No, nobody knows what he was up to over there.
Yeah, he said he was studying, but I think I have an idea what he was studying. Anyway, we had a dinner, and he explained to me how the show was done, and it sounded like such a great way to do television. I'm always partial to the fun things, you know. Yeah. That's how I make my choices is will it be fun and will I make a stupid amount of money? And the answer to this was yes and no. So that's what convinced me.
What's the character they brought you out here to play, Harry?
I play Larry Hadges, who's a kind of New York TV network consultant who comes in, flies in, does a few fixes, you know, sees what's wrong, you know, how the chemistry of a show works.
Applies a few Band-Aids.
Yeah, kind of basically a few Band-Aids that fall off before he leaves, and then flies off to the next fix before it becomes obvious that everything he's done is a total failure.
Harry Shearer, thanks for coming in today.
Hello, Adelaide.
I had to get that little part funny. Hello, Adelaide.
What's really interesting is that listening to him do the voice then is actually not the same voice that he does in the show. Like his voice, I noted for the character he does in the show it starts off as like a young Mr. Burns. So it's like he reverts to this young, like when you do see Mr. Burns as a younger man, like which isn't that much younger in the show. I listened to it without watching, and yeah, he does do a different one.
He does slip into that, doesn't he? So when he does that voice, it's like that Mr. Burns, as you said, but a more politer version. So instead of the evil sounding one, it's like, this is what Mr. Burns would be like if he was kind and younger.
Yeah, I feel like the character of Larry, he's the sort of bloke who's, you know, probably smoked a few joints in his time, you know. He thinks he's really cool and hip and down with the kids and really, really onto it, you know. And he's just kind of full of crap.
Yeah. He just like gets up on the table, crosses his legs.
Yeah, I love how he sits on the back of like the chair back and just
and it shows you how small he is in height too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a small guy, isn't he? Yeah, and with a massive moustache.
And I don't know if you noticed with that moustache how it was awful. It was like it went, on the close-up it's like crooked or not even properly on.
It's very obviously fake, isn't it? And I don't know whether that's intentional or not.
I wonder if it was like, if I could ask you, I wanted to go, was that like, did you eschew it like on purpose just to like push the ridiculous of it?
If only he had agreed, or his publicist or management, because I did invite him to come on the podcast, but it was a very silent no. Yeah, I got daddoed. Got daddoed, yeah. And yeah, it was. I got zero response. Yeah. So if anything, it could have been that hard-hitting question. Was that mustache crooked on purpose? Guess we'll never know. Unless you tweet him. Screenshot and tweet. Done.
Quickly followed by, when is there going to be more Spinal Tap?
He's currently making Spinal Tap.
Oh.
Apparently so, yeah.
Sequel.
And he used to appear on, when he would come over sometimes, he would appear on the panel, right?
Yeah, he
From
would.
Memory, he was,
He obviously maintained the friendship with the guys, you know, well after Frontline, which is great.
Mm.
There is an episode I do have of the panel where Harry Shearer is a guest. I think he was the US correspondent for the Oscars at the time. So, yeah. But I'll send that around to you. via my HeyHey.tv subscription.
Have you got a Hey Hey TV subscription that allows you to upload things to the platform?
Well,
He just does it on Daryl's Wi-Fi. He doesn't have a password on it. He sits outside his apartment or wherever he is.
Marty, Mike, and Sam and Brooke have just come out of a corporate meeting, and the management are saying that they're very happy with the show. So they're sending in a consultant, and this is your favourite bit, Alison.
Stop, Adelaide!
Yeah. There's a bit where Mike Will says, but we're rating really well in Adelaide, and Sam, that is Sam's response. Stuff Adelaide.
Stuff Adelaide.
And yeah, exactly. And I wanted you to clip
Said
it
with such gusto.
I know. It's so much visceral hatred for our hometown there, Daniel. And I wanted I wanted that clipped because, I'm sure we can use it again. But also, I just know that line was written by Tom Gleisner because he's done over the years so many jokes about Adelaide on The Late Show, on the panel, and even in Frontline. If they're mentioning a derogatory part of Australia, it's always Adelaide. So, yeah, stuff Adelaide.
I'm pretty sure anything that is in my mind about joking about Adelaide, from my early years, is probably from him. I think that's where I've the joke.
It's 100% Gleisner. I want to know, and I regret not asking him this in 1997. Tom, how did we hurt you? What have we done to damage your soul?
Well, Alison, you've been living in London for 24 years, so is there a reason you left
think
Adelaide?
I know the answer?
But did you leave Adelaide because there's something in your subconscious that just went?
Well, where do you think, with Adelaide hurting Tom?
I think it's just that we might have been the easy choice out of the other 5-6 capitals,
It's either us or Tasmania, isn't it, are the standard jokes of kind of crappy places in Australia. So he's gone with Adelaide.
You probably drank an expired Farmers Unionised coffee or something like that.
I reckon as a kid he had to go on a really boring childhood holiday to Adelaide or something, and he's just hated us ever since. I don't know. Tom, write in and tell us.
What's the equivalent to Bonnie Doon out in Adelaide?
Oh gosh, the Adelaide equivalent of Bonnie Doon.
Bill Gardens? No. I don't know.
Victor Harbour surely is.
There we go, Victor Harbour.
Yeah. Much.
Now we're in the office and Dom hands out messages to Sam, Marty and Brooke, especially since Brooke has brought in a dog named Rani into the office, but nothing for Mike.
No, she just says a nice hello to him.
I just got to say that ribbon in the receptionist's hair is quite an effort. I don't know if you notice that. It's just this, it's like whoop, 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 and then it ends here something.
Yeah,
they really go for it with her hair this episode, don't they? I mean, the donut beehive is just extraordinary that we get in the next bit. But
it's wild.
It's crazy.
Aren't you on Dom Watch, Alison?
Yeah. The ribbon's good, but the donut beehive is the one that I thought that and the tasseled beehive as well is pretty cool.
Yeah, because I wrote, "What is going on with the ribbon in her hair? Forget the ribbon; it gets worse."
Yep, accurate.
Yeah, the ribbon looks kind of like the typewriter or some kind of roll from the fax machine coming out of her hair.
So the consultant is from the US, which is, as Harry Shearer explained earlier, Larry. He does a lot of breathing, doesn't he?
Okay. Big breath in. And out. All that negative energy that's been around for the last few months, just let it out. Blow it out. Send it on a ship. It's sailing away. You're a ragdoll. You're a ragdoll. Ragdoll. Okay, let's get started. Now, because... Excuse me, what is this? Brooke's grandmother's dog,
I'm
Brooke.
babysitting it for a week. It's going to a home tomorrow.
No.
No.
pet around the office. Great idea.
Was it bring your pet to work day?
Yeah, there was quite a lot of poo and wee around the office in this one. I wouldn't want to actually be in there at that time.
So, yeah, he encourages the dog in the office to keep the staff focused. And Sam is...
Because it's apparently what they did in the Larry King Live office.
Yeah, I tried to look that up just to see if there was any... All I could see was that he does like dogs. There's some tweets of him with various small dogs, but nothing about the office.
Now, Sam is packing his office so Larry can move in, and Sam knows exactly what Larry is going to do. And Emma and Kate wonder what could really change over the 20 years of the show. So it could be the set, the graphics, theme music, but not the host. Now, having a makeover like this, Del, since you are the creative type with this, how would you, before it leads into what it becomes, how would you have fixed the set? I'm putting you on the spot here. Leave it as
what,
is.
Different to what they're doing?
So because it's a blue set.
I wouldn't have gone as fruity and citrus as that.
Are you saying that orange is not the truthful colour?
I'm saying orange is awful, except when it's Tony Martin Sizzletown logo.
Sure,
it's true.
As Kim is modelling.
Yeah, Kim, you got your Sizzletown.
And what's your opinion on Flora on the set?
Oh, I think all of this can work if it's not done as it was done on this. My note was, orange is an awful colour. That's all I put. It was absolutely awful, but it was hilarious, and that was why they used it.
Yeah,
that's the whole
I think they knew that you know, when Mike does say blue is kind of like truthful and honest, that is generally accepted, like in political circles and whatever, to be using blue. Orange, I think, is one of those witches' hats and safety people and kind of watch out sort of colour, isn't it?
Yeah,
like a warning type colour.
Yeah.
Well, think about the colours that are used on TV news these days. You know, like there's a lot of blue in Channel 9 and Channel 10, a little bit on ABC. There's a lot of red in a current affair.
That's because they've got important.
Yeah, all that sensationalist stuff with all the stuff they need to cover.
Yeah, they want to excite you with the red, I think.
A fair bit of black and white and red all over on Channel 7 as well.
Yeah, there's not that much history of using orange.
But, I mean, they're sort of tied into their logo colours as well, though, aren't they? Because, like, Channel 9's blue and Channel 7's red and...
Someone be rebellious, and some channel needs to do, like, turquoise or...
the news I watch has got, like, which is Channel 4 News, has got, like, a pink and purple set. If you look it up, it's quite nice. Yeah, not green, but
my go-to color, like one of my favorite palettes, is like hot pinks and like a
magenta.
It's an orange, but it's a peach orange, so it's more of a calmer, and with purples. So they're nice. They are nice calming colors, but they're also exciting attention colors. And you need a balance of three, because then three colors will balance each other out. Whereas if you just have hot orange, it's not gonna work.
Well, there's that kind of like
that would be quite.
Well, the Frontline set's got the magenta color in it because you have Brooke wearing the sort of magenta suit, and Mike's got the orange.
I thought that was more
it's
of
kind of like a brown adjacent kind of feel when you look at it. It's got that kind of 80s style look to it.
Her hair certainly is.
What about that type of colour behind? This is Adele's artwork, by the way.
That's it's a nice pinky purple.
Yeah, nice calming, welcoming colour.
But yeah, that would be really daring if one of the TV news services went to hot pink.
So in the studio, Larry gets a plant put in and organises the blue set to turn orange.
And we need a chair on each side, balanced.
Why the 2 chairs?
Mike, I told you, Frontline's going to be in for some exciting changes.
Yeah, but why 2 chairs?
How do you feel about co-hosts?
Co-host?
Yes! And he's down there now ruining our set. I tried to stop him. And now he wants me and Brooke hosting the show together.
I thought this episode had some good hard cuts and edits. Like, it was really strong in its comedy cuts for starting from there, pretty much. It was great.
Yeah, especially a bit further on when they cut to Weatherman Jeff.
Yes.
It is a strong episode for this one. It's like that they had so many jokes and they're trying to cram it all in within the short period of time that they had. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine what was on the cutting room floor or any of the scripts, like deleted scenes or just deleted drafts.
Yeah.
Well,
that
there's so
cut,
much in
I
that
cracked
post
up.
credits as well, isn't there? You know,
Yeah.
Well, you get a whole bunch of extra jokes in the credits.
Sam can't do anything for Mike as his hands are tied due to management, while Rani, the dog, does ones and twos in the kitchen. So with Dom being in charge of the cleanup. Now, in the voiceover studio, Larry organises for a didgeridoo player for a rendition of the Frontline theme. And Emma and Hugh aren't impressed. I watched this part with subtitles going back and when I'm trying to get audio grabs and everything like that, and it came up as monotone instrument played.
Plays monotonous tone on didgeridoo.
But you know, it's part of.
I should have gotten you to do this. I should have emailed you to put didgeridoo over our thing.
I was considering it. I ran out of time, but it was a last minute thought, and I've gone, there's so much going on. I didn't want to take the shine off it.
So Mike's hair, which we talk about later, it does remind me of his John Fay kind of era as well, doesn't it?
I was thinking it looked like Mr. Bean. It made him look like Mr. Bean.
Well,
I was thinking
I just
more
wrote Mike's hair and 3 exclamation marks.
Yeah, it's quite.
Mr. Bean's a bit more wavy,
Yeah,
though.
it's a bit.
But it's a bit of a pixie kind of a haircut.
Well,
I think they would call it these days.
Yeah, it was very sort of a hip haircut in the mid-90s, wasn't it? But it's too short for Mr. Bean, but it also does kind of make him look a bit like Mr. Bean.
Hello, Lloyd Christmas.
No, yes.
Yes.
Oh.
That's the first thing I thought of, like the bowl haircut, but his fringe does curve up a little bit. Marty records his piece to the camera on site, but Larry thinks it's too static and suggests to amputate the camera legs and film in various angles, which easily makes things look a bit dizzy.
It's kind of like
you feel a bit seasick watching that, don't you?
The rock video look.
Yeah. It's like a bad MTV music video.
Mike is putting his foot down, though, to not have Brooke co-host until...
Good evening, I'm Mike Moore.
And I'm Brooke Vandenberg. Welcome to Frontline.
I was going to say welcome to Frontline. Come on.
What is that noise?
Oh, it's a new theme. Larry's incredible, isn't it? Native influence like that, he just picks it up. Gee, that colour helps our skin tones.
So harsh is the orange.
I like just the Mike's hair really supports how childish he is throughout the episode.
Yeah, I did actually write here he's a big baby man here. He's just like, he just really just doesn't he's just changing his opinion every moment. Then when it suddenly goes his way, I could be the next Gumball.
And it's magic seeing Mike sort of do the what and then realise, oh no, Brooke's going to say it.
Yeah.
How harsh is the orange though? Like,
it's eye-burning.
It burns. So after the show, the team reflect on the changes.
How do you ever convince Mike to let you co-host?
I'm not sure, but Mike muttered something about the Today Show.
Oh, no, not even I tried that one.
What?
Well, my bet is, he said to Mike, if you can learn to work as a double act, you can soon be hosting the NBC Today Show. Yes, a show that Al Larry has no doubt invented, revived, or saved.
There is no way Mike would have fallen for that.
The Today Show.
So yeah, that's the example of the good cut.
Another great comedy
Yeah,
cut.
Gullible's cupboard office Jeff. I love that cut to him. It was great.
It's so smooth.
Yeah. And it has the in the noise, the sound effect, swish cut. Yeah, it's great.
And Jeffrey does ask about Mike's haircut.
Yeah, the question we were all wanting to know the answer to.
Yeah, it shows off his eyes.
Kind of does.
Yeah, and but Jeffrey thinks he should get a haircut too, and then realizes that he can't, so he should just wear contacts. But he doesn't have the zoning, so whatever the hell that means. And then Jeffrey asks Mike to give Larry his show reel. So. Because
they've got stars in their eyes.
No,
but you notice what Mike points out with the tape. Yeah.
It's orange.
Good vibes from the orange.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just know that Larry would just toss it in the bin. The moment he's alone.
Plus, it wouldn't have been the right format for US. It would have been in PAL format.
Yeah.
Oh, marvellous pedantry.
Pedantry. Americans are like, we can't have this PAL format. Yeah. We need NTSC. That's pedantry of the episode, I think.
Oh, is it?
I think so. The next day, as Marty and Mike arrive to the office, there's been a rearrangement. The desks now form a circle, and
they're all orange.
Well, yes. They're very, very orange. And but it's not really a circle. It's more like a heptagon.
Octagon or something.
Yeah.
Hexagon.
Yeah, hexagon, yeah.
And it's time for an ideas shower.
When Daylight NBC in the States need a little tweak, you know what I did?
You stripped it right back
I think that's a rhetorical question, Mike.
I told them to clean the slate, wipe it clean, throw everything out, start over.
But we've got some great stories on the shelf.
Great. And they can stay there. Because people want something different from current affairs, and we are going to give it to them. Big breath out!
It just really occurred to me he could have done his Kent Brockman.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm Kent Brockman.
Although he might not have been allowed to.
Yeah.
Couldn't really do it willy-nilly, could they?
I like to think Larry consulted for the Kent Brockman news show and maybe changed the set to orange or something.
On Frontline, Brooke's interview with an unnamed minister goes quite well. And isn't he, the actor, the voiceover as well of some of the story narrations in Frontline
very
in
familiar
general?
voice.
Yeah. So this is where I think that Working Dog might have had a bit of a tight budget. It's like we can't get any other actors in, so how about we just use one that's within the circles?
Oh, and can I note another, just back when they were in their tables that Kim might have been alluding to earlier, is another great cut to reveal of Sam Murphy at his desk sitting at the back of the room.
Yeah, he's outside the circle, isn't he?
He's outside the circle.
Yeah.
And so they have the circle, and then there's a cut, and they move away, and then he's just up the back, biding his time, and then sitting at someone else's desk. So that was another great comedy reveal.
It's a nice piece of, like, if you wanted to analyse it as a sort of drama theorist, it's a piece of symbolism about how Sam's, outside of this now.
Yeah, and it's one of those things he's seen over and over in his long career of consultants going in, fly-by-night people just going in, they say the same thing, as he says earlier, the same potted plants and all this sort of thing that he goes through is so familiar to him, and he just knows how it's going to play out.
And he was just happy to pack up his desk. He's like, nah, I know I'm out of here, and I'll be back soon.
Although, as we find out, it's actually Emma's desk, and she doesn't have one because, everyone else has got their desk still. Larry's taken Sam's desk, Sam's taken Emma's desk, and Emma's got nothing.
Yeah.
So she's floating around.
No.
Oh, wow. Hot desking before it was called hot desking.
Right. Oh, God, you're going to give me nightmares with hot desking.
We hot desk at my work, and my hot tip is get there early so you can get the desk you want.
Oh, Brooke's interview with an unnamed minister goes well, but as Brooke goes to record her questions to camera, Larry says that they'll fix it in post, which leads to adding her questions in via a super.
Our American friend's made two mistakes. One, he assumes our audience is interested in politics. Two, he assumes they can read.
3, I'm not even in it.
Well, he got something right.
I love that trigger. The bang and then cough. But Larry has Mike pre-record an interview with a Washington correspondent friend who's based in Baltimore. It's kind of like Washington. And they'll throw to the chat live on air. And while Emma and Sam discuss their new correspondent idea, Mike's chat goes well. Well, kind of.
He's certainly eager to maintain close ties economically with the region.
Yes, no doubt.
And I believe he's spoken to your Prime Minister, Paul Keating, recently?
Mr. Keating.
As well as your Trade Minister, Mr. What is his name?
Trade Minister.
Trade Minister.
And then you get this surely must be a bit of improv. Larry moving the potted plant as if that's the problem.
I wrote the pot plant move had to be impro. I was like that had to be. It was great. But I was just wondering, Matt, if you picked up on our audience isn't interested in anything north of Brisbane, and I just went, that's harsh but true.
I did notice that. I didn't think.
Like, true.
Yeah, spot on. No one cares. The only people who think north of Brisbane are people in north of Brisbane, but they mainly think about everything down south. So
Stuff Adelaide.
Yes. You know what the funny thing with Queensland is, right? When it comes to holidays and public holidays and everything like that, and what happens is everyone on the Gold Coast goes to Byron. Everyone in Brisbane goes to the Gold Coast, or they go to the Sunshine Coast. And when everyone goes to the Sunshine, everyone in Sunshine Coast goes further up, goes, oh no, fuck this. So everyone just cycles around. So
bloody
tourists. You screwed on the Bruce Highway, or you screw the M1 over.
Yeah, because Queensland is so freaking big. It's like 3 states in one.
Yeah.
no one knows what the other half or 2/4 of the state, 2/3 of the state's doing.
After a quick call to the office, Mike splices in Senator Peter Cook's name. Senator Peter Cook. But Kate
I like to think there was a Senator Dudley Moore somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Alas, we don't hear about him.
Kate brings in Mike's new orange jacket. Ooh, it's very delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So who says, be safe, be seen? But no bedazzle.
I feel like he should be directing planes on a tarmac in that outfit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But no bedazzles, though.
I think what gets me even worse than the orange colour is it's a check.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can't notice it on the
that
grainy.
tie is amazing.
It's like the loudest of the loud.
He almost looked like the comedy guest, like he would be the one coming on and doing the piano during the song.
Yeah.
It does remind me of that American comedian Doug Stanhope who does a lot of stand up in these sort of very vintage looking loud suits.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have liked. I don't know if they might have thought of this idea or whatever, but it would have been great to have seen him, like, I don't know, riding a bike home or something at night. Or someone who's riding their bike home, like Jeffrey or something, putting the jacket on and riding home.
Sam explains to Emma Larry's tactics because Sam sees right through it all.
Our American friend might think he has some grandmaster scheme, but let me tell you, he's got no method. He's running around grabbing bits from the Times from four corners, grabbing pieces from hard copy, right? He thinks if he can make changes, people upstairs will be happy.
Maybe a few changes might help.
Change is the natural enemy of news and current affairs. Why do you think they hang on to their newsreaders 20 years past their use-by date? Because they're so good. Because no one else could possibly do the job.
Because they're the same.
Step into the gift shop.
Yeah. Well, that's why Karl Stefanovic's still hanging around today. He left.
Yeah, sad but
he
true.
left after a few years and then came back after a couple of years.
And yeah, the other point that Sam makes is that, of course, the consultant is going to make changes. He wouldn't get paid if he said, just keep things the same.
Yeah.
I've dealt with a lot of people that way, a lot of consultants in my former industry. And boy, they were fun.
Yeah, they have to give a reason for doing their job, and most of the time it's pointless and annoying.
So with Mike and Brooke in the studio, Mike is wearing his orange jacket and Brooke is wearing... did you see she was wearing an orange shirt?
Yes.
Blouse, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they're sort of like they're wearing the opposite colours of each other. It's quite well coordinated, if nothing else.
Like the kind of, where you have your leather patch elbows on tweed or whatever. So
yeah.
Or vice versa. So with that, Mike thinks he'll make it in the US, but Brooke tells him that Larry used those lines on everyone, and Mike tells Brooke to hang loose. But they're about to throw to a taped Washington correspondent that they did earlier when Emma realizes Mike is wearing an entirely different jacket. But then we also, yes, 10 seconds ago, wait a minute, what about the jacket? But we also see Mike spliced in pickups.
And I believe he's spoken to your Prime Minister, Paul Keating, recently?
Mr. Keating.
As well as your Trade Minister, Mr.
Senator Peter Cook.
Right. And they've indicated their desire to keep the lines of dialogue open.
Well, that certainly sounds like Senator Cook. Lewis, thanks for your time.
Mr. Black.
And the edits, again, I'm going to bang on about the edits, were so great. They were so smooth as well.
Yeah, and the fact that when it's a really bad edit, it's good. When it, if you know what I mean, when it's got the black jacket.
I think the bit I really liked was behind the scenes with Emma, Sam, and Larry, where basically Emma says that nobody probably would have noticed, provided they were watching black and white TV with bad reception. And then Larry, again, I think this might have been improv again. He asked, how big an audience share is it?
I like also that, Larry's kind of, at different points, he's sitting on the back of he's sitting on the chair back, or he's got his feet up on the like control desk, and Sam's sitting at the control desk, and poor Emma, who doesn't have a desk, she doesn't have a space here either, so she's got to like lean over the two of these guys just to press the buttons.
It's kind of like man spreading with his feet up on the table.
Yeah.
She's like, get out of my way, I've got to press this button.
So the next day, Brooke's story that Larry edited with the supers gets lost in translation with the word rooting, meaning something completely different in context in the US than Australia. And it will get the show sued, which makes Sam and Emma smile a bit. So they're rooting.
Yeah, in no way are they deliberately letting this go through so they can get rid of him. Oh, no.
We also find out that Mike's off to cover a story, which is very unlike the host.
Yeah, the Mr. Whippy Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Sorry, the motorcycle Grand Prix. Yeah. But Sam doesn't want him to, because he might injure himself, because, Mike's accident prone. And then Ronnie, the dog, pees in the kitchen and bites Brooke. So it's all starting to crumble apart very, very slowly. Larry consults Friday Night Funny Man Elliot Rhodes over his segment, suggesting that they get a live studio audience for his performances. Now, we should have asked him when we had Boris on.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Boris Conley, yeah.
Yeah. Why did we ask him so early?
Yeah, we
Damn
forgot
it.
about this.
What's it like working with Harry Shearer?
Yeah.
So,
You can still ask
We
him.
bring in a studio audience just for the comedy bit. Now,
Larry, it takes time. You just can't find an audience.
Sam, you're blocking me. I'm getting negative energy from you. Come on, breathe. What shows here have a studio audience?
Not really. Oh, what about Jackpot?
Done. We bring in the jackpot audience, shift them into our studio.
They're a game show audience. Most of them are elderly. They're coming on buses. Half of them are on oxygen.
Oh, you cut right before Larry called Sam Schmooly.
Oh, really? There's only so much I could keep. Anyway.
Fair enough.
Schmooly, yeah. But Mike returns back to the office injured on his crutches after he sat on a bike and it fell over.
He didn't even ride the bike. He just sat on it.
Yeah,
And
and
then-
they
And
said, "Promise you wouldn't tell."
if you're talking about Mike being immature, when he says to shut up, you said you wouldn't tell. That's the most sort of brother and sister like I think both of them have ever been.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
And in the studio, Brooke hides her injured hand behind her back and Mike's leg is out of frame. I love the fact that when they do this, you got the studio audience right behind them.
Yeah.
But they're looking half alive anyway.
The studio audience should be encouraged to laugh during the actual current affairs bit,
It's like early days of the
But-
project.
Yep, I've been to those early day project audiences. I went to so many early days. I went to the early day audience for Have You Been Paying Attention?
Oh wow!
Yeah, a bunch of them because I lived just up the road, so I would go to all those shows. I think we've mentioned before the football shows for Working Dog as well.
Diego Maradonas.
Yeah. What's great about those, I don't listen to it now, but when I was, because I went to the filming and Rob's there and so's their floor manager, her name escapes me, and they're laughing offside, and if you watch the episodes of Have You Been Paying Attention, you can hear them, both the floor manager laugh and Rob offside laughing as well. So
Yeah,
they're
it's
just,
always.
laughing
I was going to
away.
ask you that. Who is actually doing that really loud laugh? So
Yeah,
I've got my
so
answer
it's,
now.
Yeah, so
That's like
sometimes you can hear Rob and sometimes you can hear the floor manager. Yeah.
That'll be like with the Late Show where you could hear the floor manager, which was Annie Maver.
It's Annie.
Yeah.
It's Annie.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It is Annie.
Oh, she's still doing it on Have You Been Paying Attention?
She was, yeah, and
she does
and
cheap
she's-
seats as well, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's all over the place.
Yeah.
I believe she was on a job that I worked on in the crew. I was a member of the crew as well. So yeah, she's
cool.
all over the place. She's awesome. Annie, you're awesome if you're listening.
Annie Maver actually gets a name check a few times in Hannah Gadsby's autobiography, and apparently they're really good mates. So yeah, what a great life Annie Maver's lived, hanging out with all the comedy stars.
And once married to Tony Martin.
Indeed.
Yeah.
The difference between the studio audiences for Cheap Seats or Have You Been Paying Attention and the one for Frontline would have to be all in the warming up, you would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, who was the warm-up man for Elliot Rhodes?
Oh,
I mean, you've got to be worse than Elliot, but you've still got to be funny. So it's hard to find someone who's actually making a living in comedy who's that.
It'll be Elliot dressed up with trying to be the cool hip guy with the hat backwards. Yo.
Okay.
Sorry, that's going back to a reference to Frontline season 1. You know, when
Yes, I remember that. He did his session rap or something. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then because when Mike was trying to get rid of him.
Yep.
And he comes back, yo.
And he says, yo, bro, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh,
You've got to beep yourself out for that one.
I will. Larry confronts Sam's resistance here.
Sam, you really don't like me, do you?
Does it matter?
Look, I know it's rough when somebody comes in and starts to screw around with your baby, but you gotta trust me. These changes are for the best.
Sure.
Hey, with your support, this show can kick some big-time butt. But I'm gonna need your help.
Larry, I'm rooting for you.
Well, when he says that, Emma does the cutest little smirk.
Yeah.
Did you rewind it?
Yeah, I did. I watched it a couple of times. Mike and Brooke wrap up the show with a sparkling repartee, which ends up
the most stilted of banters.
Yes. Busy.
It sure has been a week.
Yep. A week has existed is pretty much kind of what they're saying.
And now it's time for the Friday night funny man, Elliot Rhodes, to perform in front of the audience.
Whoa, I'm a banker, I love money. When I get rich, I think it's rather funny that people are so poor while I've got cash galore, 'cause I'm a banker.
Oh, he's done it again.
Oh, yes, that is definitely not a warmed up audience. That is a frozen. It's a wasteland, a tundra of an audience.
They haven't been given any lollies.
Yeah, was someone chucking lollies at them? If they were, they probably just hit them because they were just sat there frozen.
Yeah, well, Sam has the last line there.
Even the ABC throws lollies.
It does remind me a lot. Trying to find a clip of Springtime for Hitler. Yeah, the audience looking at that song and dance number is similarly absolutely shocked and frozen.
Yep.
I think we've had enough of Hitler today.
Watch
and
out,
forever.
Hitler's about. Yep.
That should be the theme song for the German documentary.
It just might be. Pretend you didn't hear that.
Okay.
That's what happens when you mention SBS. It's
all Hitler.
Can't
all
really
Hitler all day.
And then Sex Before Soccer.
Hitler, just the way you like him.
Yep.
In black and white.
That was the 90s. It was Sex Before Soccer and Hitler.
Sex Before Soccer and Liquid Television.
Yes.
And Neat Carpet.
Like, we started on Liquid Television.
Yeah, all right. That's a different podcast altogether. So the next morning, Larry comes into the office and he has to leave early, and management are still a little unhappy. But hey, the company's got insurance, right? Because of
let's hope so.
because they're being sued. Oof, over the term rooting. Oh well, but remember, just keep breathing. And as soon as he leaves, the team rearrange the desks back to how they were.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like nothing ever happened. No learning, no hugging. Put the desks back. We're done.
Yep.
And during the credits, we see everyone rolling back things to how they originally were. Yeah, after that, we do see when Mike is consulting Dom over his offline, his breathing being a bit off, he wonders what Larry's doing now, and cuts to Larry consulting a Chinese current affairs show, doing the same old tricks again.
And
they're taking the same suitcase of ideas.
Yeah, very thin. It's
town to town.
Very thin
Copy and
suitcase, isn't it? Did we?
So yeah, Larry survives for to sail another day basically.
Yeah. I know we've touched upon this in previous episodes, but the whole story about how Harry Shearer came to be in the episode and what a difficult time it was for for them to actually get him, because at first they weren't allowed to hire him because the union said he's an overseas actor. So it's in the behind the front line. You kind of see the story behind how I had to go to arbitration and end up being just making the case for having Harry on there. And I think as you can see from all the improv and all the kind of the humour that we brought to the episode, it was just a really worthwhile ad.
Yeah.
It was chaotic in a wonderful way. It was a really strong episode. I didn't know that they had that problem. Was that our union that was?
Yeah, the Australian.
Emmy AA.
Yeah.
They mention it where Michael Hirsch is the one, because it's you can see for the first time that the whole idea, they really are determined to get Harry across the line, but it's actually stressing out the team. So because they're running out of days to shoot, like they're coming up to it, and so it's like Rob and Tom and Santa, they're off to do their thing, and then Michael Hirsch puts his hand up to do all the heavy lifting to get it all done. So
they were under immense pressure. It was an episode or two ago. We heard reports about that they're going to have to move out of the building.
Yeah. So there's an awful lot going on towards the end of making this series that they've got to deal with, and it's still a really good series.
Yeah. So even though we've got 3 more episodes left of this season, that's now with that in mind, it will appear to be a very stressful season. Like just go, God, like see if they're cutting corners or just getting straight to the point with anything, or just to see what happens. So just keep that observation or in the back of your mind when you're watching the later episodes, just to see how close to time they are with filming, especially with the turnaround time that they do in general, but knowing that they got to be out of the building before the end of the season. Anyway, got all serious there. Well, that concludes Frontline Season 2, Episode 10, and the Champagne Comedy Podcast, Episode 63. We made it. Now, feel free to email us, champagnelateshow@gmail.com. Check this episode show notes for our socials, as well as Facebook. Search for the Champagne Comedy Podcast group. buymeacoffee.com/TLS Champagne Pod. Also got to say a quick shout out to Andy Munro and Movie Moose. So they are listeners, and they just stumbled upon their correspondence before the recording of this episode.
There's plenty of ways to get in touch with us, and I'm sure they're all listed on champagnecomedy.com. Is that right?
We're on X and Blue Sky and all sorts. Are we on Blue Sky? I can't remember now.
we are on Blue Sky. So we're on the socials except for Mastodon. Yeah, we're on Instagram, we're on Threads, we're on Blue Sky, still on Twitter.
TikTok?
Yes, we're on TikTok. So we're on that whenever I decide to put together a video. It's quite hard to put those together. And all the others as well.
Blackman this week, I guess.
Oh, yeah, not a bad idea. Yeah. As well as YouTube. So thank you as always for coming on, Alison, Daniel and Kim. Thank you so much for returning as well, Adele.
No, thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure. And you got anything to plug since you were on last time? Like any shows or whatever?
No. I'm about to, the show I'm working on is about to finish, so but I'll be working on a new Scholastic book.
Oh, sweet. Will
be coming out probably next year sometime.
Oh, actually, you know what? I do just before we go, because I know that we're pushed for time now. Here we go. I'm going to give you a plug here, and you're going to hate me for it. The same Dimmick store, that whole bunch of Pearl the Magic Unicorn books.
Yay!
That's a big bundle there.
Yeah. So I illustrated 12 of the Pearl the Magical Unicorn books over the past 6 years, and there's also a spin-off, Pearl and Friends, and the last one is coming out soon. And you can find them at your library and bookstores and Scholastic, and borrow them out. It still helps me as an illustrator. Blending rights. That's my plug.
Oh, really? Okay, everyone
Support your local.
Let's all go to our libraries.
Support your local libraries.
Oh.
Well, yeah, like, you could get them from that river-based website, but it's better for everybody if you get them from an independent bookstore or as Adele said, from your library.
Yeah.
All right.
Support Australian illustrators and authors.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you very much as well to Danny Tregoning, who came on to do a nice tribute to John Blackman. As always, I'm Matt, and thanks for listening. Catch you next episode. Bye.
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 See ya.
Thank you for listening to the Champagne Comedy Podcast, created by fans for the fans. For more information on this podcast, please visit champagnecomedy.com. Produced by Matt Fulton Productions, mattfulton.com.au.
Stuff, Adelaide!
And President Bill Clinton receives an unexpected wrong number.
Hello, Philip. It's John Blackman here from Telecom Mobile.
To sport now, and the third cricket test wound up this week in a draw. There was one sad note when Aussie paceman Merv Hughes injured his groin, but a much happier one when newcomer Graham Thorpe injured his. Meanwhile, skipper Graham Gooch received a surprise wrong number.
Hello, Philip. It's John Blackman here from Telecom Mobile.
Back home, and the slangy match between Optus and Telecom reached a climax this week, with Optus accusing Telecom of sabotaging its calls. Their suspicions were aroused when this ad appeared in several newspapers during the week. I was suspicious. However, Optus got its own back when Telecom's chief spokesperson was interrupted during a press conference.
Hello? Hello, Philip. It's John Blackman here from
And the Wallabies rugby team today went to New Zealand. They went down to New Zealand in the Bledisloe Cup. Last-minute omission from the team was fullback Marty Roebuck, who managed to tie his own shoe at training during the week and was ruled too intelligent to play. Meanwhile, his colleagues left for Dunedin looking relaxed, confident,
Philip, it's John Blackman here.
and, yes, just a little bit John Inman. And the Khmer Rouge receive an unexpected call.
It's John Blackman from Telecom Mobile Net here. Who's that?
We're going to do one of those jokes every week for the rest of the series. Staying overseas in Israel, the trial of the man alleged to be Nazi war criminal Ivan the Terrible has ended with an acquittal. After almost 5 years of hearings, the court decided that George Demjanjuk was not Ivan the Terrible, but in fact a lesser-known figure, Ivan the Disobedient. The accused man sat in silence as the court read its verdict.
We acquit the appellant on grounds of doubt of the charges attributed to him.
Unfortunately, there was a crossed line on the translation.
G'day, it's John Blackman from Telecom Mobile Net here. Who's that?
Meanwhile, to Bosnia, and peace talks have broken down yet again. Representatives began meeting in Geneva this week but failed to make progress. First, the Bosnian leader stormed out. Then Muslim President Izetbegovic threatened to leave. Finally, just as all leaders were brought together round the negotiation table, Serbia's Radovan Karadzic was called to the phone.
G'day, it's John Blackman from Telecom Mobile Net here. Who's that?
Always happens. Tonight, staying overseas, officials at NASA continue to search unsuccessfully for the Observer space probe. The Observer, of course, was launched last September, but it was only a few days ago that scientists lost radio contact with it. First, they presumed it had just gone under a bridge or something, but then strange signals began coming into NASA.
G'day, it's John Blackman from Telecom Mobile Net here. Who's that?
Meanwhile, back home, there's been turmoil. You've heard about the John Dawkins affair?
Ken O'Malley of the Ivory Coast was in Adelaide and voted for the people.
Our treasurer, John Dawker, he threatened to resign. It's true. Mr. Dawkins hinted he might quit during a press conference.
Leave Fremantle, get on a plane and come to Canberra. The prospect of political retirement does well in my mind.
Now, the treasurer's threatened resignation prompted an immediate response. But good to hear, he later retracted his comments, saying it wasn't the Senate or the opposition that was getting him down, it was just all the phone calls.
G'day, it's John Blackman from Telecom Mobile Net here. Who's that?
Thank you, Bruce.
See, you do that well.
That
John Blackman joke, hasn't that gone down well
has.
for another week?
I think
it was missing last week, and it's back in now.
Back home now, and The coronial inquest into the Kenai siege ended this week. In handing down his findings, the coroner reserved his strongest criticism for members of the media who tied up phone lines at the siege site. In particular, he singled out Mike Willisey.
Did you see anybody get killed?
Mike Munro and, of course, our old friend.
Hi, it's John Blackman from Telecom Mobile.
They couldn't get a call for it. And staying overseas, Benazir Bhutto has narrowly won the Pakistan general election. She defeated Muslim League leader Nawaz Sharif, who struggled throughout the campaign to get his message across. Wait for
G'day,
it.
it's John Blackman from Telecom Mobile now.
I have a sense of humour.
Where? Oh, not the phone.
Yeah, the phone.
No,
I'm going to make the phone.
You're going to phone the walls again.
I've got a new prank.
A new prank. This better be good.
Prank, and I've got this will make you laugh. It makes them laugh in the centre. Here we go.
Hello?
Hello, it's John Hewson here from Telecom Mobile. Who's that?
It's John Blackman here, Doc. This is my gig, all right? So rack off.
Say this, we've been doing this segment on The Late Show for about 3 months.
What, this particular one?
This one won't see the light of day after tonight. How's that Volker razor going? And not once in that time,
Never.
even in these difficult moments like tonight, have we resorted to cheap gimmicks just to save the actual
But
segment.
I think now's the time.
Mr. Colonel.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. It's Dennis Elbow. Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Elbow.
Mr. Graham, is it true what they say about that Dean Lucan?
What, Dennis? What?
You know that he's a...
That he's a what?
You know that he's a weightlifter?
Oh, incorrigible.